strictly WildCat and Lady Cat Station, KSSG 1238 in Sulphur Springs, Texas. Time for WildCat basketball. This is after the high school gym. For the match team is called by KSSG sports director Don Gilly. Don?
Well, James, thank you very much. We're kind of another late show tonight as we're just a few minutes away from the 8 o'clock hour for a 7:30 game. But that's the way it is. And it seemed like the Lady Cats game went relatively quickly as the Lady Cats, there weren't a lot of timeouts. The Lady Cats had a big lead, but for some reason it just took a long time to play that one. And now we have the Lindale Eagles against the Wildcats in a district game. Lindale 2-2 in district play, and they are 20-6 on the season. Very nice record. The Wildcats are 4-0 in district play, and they are 18-8 for the season, and they are ranked number 5 in Class 5A, according to the Texas Association of basketball coaches, high school basketball coaches in the state of Texas. See Day-Day Hall down there in a gray T-shirt with some sweatpants on, not ready to play.
Between the Lindale Eagles and your Sulphur Springs Wildcats.
Well, double duty tonight for Philip Manning. He's now doing the starting lineups for both teams here. First for Lindale.
At guard, senior, number 23, Cole Brown. At guard, 6'1", junior, number 32, Jacob Cochelle. At guard, 6'3", senior, number 10, Connery Churchill. At guard, 6' senior, number 2, Tegan Edwards. And at post, 7'1", senior, 20, Collinsworth. Eagles are coached by Chris Gorman, assisted by Spencer Terry, the head coach, and Nick Burns. And now the starting lineup for your Sulphur Springs Wildcats. Starting at guard, 6'1", senior, number 2, Jeremiah Rowley. Starting at guard, 5'11", junior, number 33, Grayson McClure. Starting at guard, 5'11", sophomore, number 20, Boo Wilkerson. Starting at guard, 6'6", junior, number 4, Cameron Kahn. And starting at forward, 6'9", senior, number 13, Xavier Court.
So Philip Manning with the starting lineups for both teams. Again, Tegan Edwards, Connery Churchill, Cody Collinsworth. He's 7'1", by the way, tallest player in the district as far as I know. Colton Brown is a starter, and also Jacob Cochelle. Let's get that in there. Jeremiah Rowland, a starter for the Wildcats, along with Cameron Kahn, Xavier Cork, Boo Wilkerson, and Grayson McClure. Cork at 6'9", jumping against Collinsworth at 7'1". Been a lot of discussion about Lindale having this 7'1" player, and now fans can see him here in that center circle. And the referee moves in to throw the ball up between Cork and Collinsworth, and Lindale controls the tap. And here come the Eagles on offense. And dribbling the ball, Edwards gets it outside to Cochelle. And free throw line, Collinsworth. He will hand off to Colton Brown. And Brown to Tegan Edwards against Jeremiah Rowland. Edwards from the free throw line. Jumper is off, no good. Good rebound, Jeremiah Rowland. Here come the Wildcats on their first offensive effort, and they get it over to Xavier Cork. Outside, right side it goes, Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland goes around the screen, gives it to Cork, and into the corner, Boo Wilkerson. And top of the key, Kahn gets it into Cork. The short jumper's good by Xavier Cork. And the Wildcats lead 2-0 with 7:09 left here in the first quarter. Ball over to Cochelle. Thought about the shot. Churchill Here's a Lindale jumper, in and out, no good. Good rebound, Xavier Cork, and he gets it over to Jeremiah Rowland. Long pass to Cameron Kahn, stolen by Lindale, and they're going to get Kahn for the foul and trying to prevent the steal. No, wait a minute. I reversed that. Let me say that the other way. Lindale will pick up the foul, and that one's on Colton Brown, his first foul. And pass in to Jeremiah Rowland there from Grayson McClure. Wildcats leading 2-0 with 6:44 left here in the first quarter. Grayson McClure down low to Xavier Cork. Cork working against Collinsworth. Left hand, good by Xavier Cork. Nice short jumper with the offhand by Xavier Cork. And it's 4-0, 6:26 left here in the first quarter. Ball over to Churchill. He gets it over to Edwards. They kick it back to Collinsworth. Edwards with the ball. A long three. Oh, the big fella with a left-handed three by Collinsworth. And it's a 4-3 ball game with 6 minutes left here in the first quarter. Jeremiah Rowland with the ball. Grayson McClure, the long three for Grayson, off no good, and the rebound to Lindale. And here they come with Teagan and Edwards. Edwards goes around the screen into the corner. A Lindale three is on the way, off no good. Rebounded Jeremiah Rowland across the midline for the Wildcats. And Jeremiah drives and hit the driving layup. A beautiful driving layup by Jeremiah Rowland. The Wildcats leading 6-3. 5:28 left here in the first quarter. Teagan Edwards with the ball for the Eagles. And throws it over to Koshal. Here's a shot put up, in and out, no good. Cork, the rebound for the Wildcats. Wildcats leading 6-3 with 5:12 left here in the first quarter. Jeremiah Rowland across the midline for the Wildcats. On the dribble. Gives to Boo Wilkerson. Down low to Cameron Kahn. Kahn powers it up with the left hand. Cork with a follow shot. Stuffs. And the Wildcats lead 8-3. 4:52 left in the first quarter. Lindale, Koshal. He gets it over to Brown. Colton Brown on the drive. And it's kicked out to Koshal, and he's called for a traveling violation. Lindale a little bit wound tight here early here as they're having a hard time hitting shots and a few turnovers. Wildcats leading 8-3 with 4:36 left here in the first quarter. Jeremiah Rowland across the midline. Rowland outside. Boo Wilkerson, top of the key. And back to Jeremiah Rowland. He cross-courts it to McClure and over to Wilkerson, Cork, and Jeremiah Rowland into Cameron Kahn. Kahn double teamed. And the ball knocked loose, and Lindale steals it. Teagan Edwards, long pass down, and shot laid up and in by the big fellow there, Collinsworth, who has all 5 of Lindale's points. Wildcats leading 8-5, 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. Jeremiah Rowland. Rolling into the lane and wanted to funnel it over to Kahn, but I don't look like either the shot was blocked back at him anyway. Rowland called for the traveling violation in the lane. Back to Lindale, the Wildcats leading 8-5, 3:46 left here in the first quarter. Ball over to Churchill. Big fella thought about a three. It's underneath. Player spins and puts it up. Missed the shot. Cameron Kahn with a rebound over to Rowland. The Wildcats will run. They're up 8-5. Rowland will now drive toward the basket. And whistle blows. Foul on Lindale. And that one was on, well, I'm going to say, I think Colton Brown. That's 2 real quick ones here. He's got both fouls in the ball game. And Grayson McClure to toss in. Long pass out to Cork and then over to Rowland. Rowland outside the arc. Goes around a Kahn screen. Drives. Puts up the shot. No good. Lindale with a rebound. And Edwards has it in the backcourt. Lindale down only 8-5. 3:10 left here in the first quarter. Ball in the hands of Koshal. Here's a drive toward the basket. Cameron Kahn looked like he blocked the shot, and then he got called for the foul. First foul on Kahn. And that should send Connery Churchill to the free throw line. So free throws for Lindale, and a chance to get almost even here. They're down by 3. And free throw on the way is good. That was put up by Churchill. And it's an 8-6 ball game. Another free throw for Churchill. This one on the way. He got them both. And that makes it an 8-7 ball game. And checking in for Lindale now will be Jamond Jackson. And the player with 2 fouls, Colton Brown, checks out. Wildcats leading 8-7, just under 3 to play here in the first quarter. Ball in the hands of Jeremiah Rowland. Right side it goes. Grayson McClure down low to Cameron Kahn. They really jamming in the lane. Outside Grayson McClure. And goes over to Court. And Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson back to Court. He's guarded by the big fella. Drives in. Puts up the shot. Oh! Great start. Xavier Cork with 8 big points, and the Wildcats are leading 10-7. 2:26 left here in the first quarter. Edwards gets it over to Churchill. And the ball over to Koshal. He starts a drive and call for a travel before he passed off. Turnover on Lindale, as Kai Taylor is going to check in, and Cameron Kahn is heading to the bench. And the ball comes into Jeremiah Rowland. Philip Manning now talking to Kahn as they are plotting some strategy, I'm sure. The ball comes into Grayson McClure and over to Cork, and Jeremiah Rowland outside to the right side. Will hand off Wilkerson outside the arc. And back to Rowland in the right corner. Wilkerson top of the key. Over to Taylor and around to McClure on the left side. He shoots the 3. Good! By Grayson McClure. His first 3, the Wildcats leading 13-7. 1:40 left here in the first quarter. Edwards with the ball for the Eagles. Guarded by Jeremiah Rowland. Lob comes in to the big fella. Here's a pass into the lane. Shot put up and made. Good basket there by Jackson of Lindale. Makes it 13-9. 1:21 left here in the first quarter. Cork has the ball outside the arc and hands over to Rowland. Rowland gives it back to Cork. Being guarded by Collinsworth. Cork steams to the basket. Missed this one. And a whistle blows after the shot. I think they're going to get Collinsworth for a foul there. That is correct. That's his first on the 7-1 senior for Lindale. His name is Cody Collinsworth. Free throws for Xavier Cork, who has 4 baskets, 8 points, and he hit the free throw. Cork has had an excellent first quarter with 9 points. Wildcats up 14-9 with free throw pending. And Collinsworth will check out of the ball game, and here's Holton Knox. So 7-1 for 6-2, and now Deuce Berry will check in for Boo Wilkerson. They'd like Deuce to be hot tonight, hitting those threes. Cork eyes the bucket, and the free throw on the way. Cork got them both. Xavier with 10 points in the first quarter. Wildcats leading 15-9. 1:04 left here in the first quarter. Edwards with the ball for Lindale. He'll shoot the 3. It's off, no good. Big rebound. Comes down McClure. McClure's long pass is tipped and stolen by Lindale. Edwards on the way. He steams back down the court and tried to pass off, but he got fouled as he passed. Let's see who picked up the foul. Maybe Grayson McClure, I believe. Oh, 2 shots. That was a pass. Well, anyway, officials say shooting. Clark Cipolletta wants to know. But the officials rule this. Oh, the crowd has said, what? But here comes shooting 2 shots, and Edwards makes the first one. My gosh, he drove in and then tried to funnel a pass to a teammate, and officials rule that he was shooting. So that is the ruling. And Edwards in and out on the second one. But Lindale gets the offensive rebound. The follow shot is good. And Jackson has 4 points. So it's 15-12 now, just a 3-point Wildcats lead here with 44 seconds left in the first quarter. Ball comes into Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland across the midline for the Wildcats. Rowland on the dribble, goes around the court screen, gets it over to Kai Taylor. And Taylor gives it to Deuce Berry. Berry to Cork at the free throw line. Cork gives it to Grayson McClure. And then he goes around the Cork screen, gets it over to Kai Taylor. Taylor starts a drive, gives it to McClure for the three. That's off, no good, but a big rebound back to Grayson McClure. He penetrates in with a left hand. He got a driving layup, a beautiful play by Grayson McClure. We sometimes forget he's more than just a three-point shooter. Long pass for Lindale, goes into the corner, and the pass is stolen by Kai Taylor, who tried to bounce it off a Lindale player, but as Kai was trying to save the ball after he deflected it, he was ruled out of bounds. It'll go back to Lindale with .8. This is almost grab and shoot time here. That's all you've got time for. Oh, some big time pushing going on. Player put his fist right into Deuce Berry's chest and gave him a heck of a push. Was not missed by the crowd, but officials let that go. Lindale throwing in now Churchill. There's a catch and the throw. That'll count if it goes, but it missed on the shot by Holton Knox. So the Wildcats take a 17-12 lead into the first quarter. And we'll take a break here, and we'll come back with the start of the second quarter right after this. And first quarter scoring, Collinsworth had 5 for Lindale, 4 for Jackson, 2 for Churchill, and 1 for Edwards. For the Wildcats, Cork had 10, Grayson McClure had 5, and 2 for Jeremiah Rowland. Wildcats leading 17-12 as we get ready to start the second quarter, and the Wildcats will have the first possession here as Grayson McClure will trigger in to Jeremiah Rowland, and we start the second quarter. Wildcats with that 5-point lead. Rowland, top of the key, well outside. Now left side it goes to Grayson McClure. McClure dribbling the ball. Down low it goes to Cork. Cork starts a dribble. Now he's double teamed. Here's a three by Cameron Kahn. It's good by Cameron Kahn, the three. The wrath of Kahn. Wildcats leading 20-12, 7:35 left here in the second quarter. Here's a shot by Collinsworth, misses, but a good rebound by Colton Brown, hustling rebound. Here's a player stepping inside the arc and putting up a shot but missing. That was Churchill. Wildcats with a rebound. They come down the court. Here's McClure in transition. A three. It's good by Grayson McClure. He's on fire tonight, seems to be. And the Wildcats have 8 points out of McClure, and they lead 23-12. 7:05 left in the second quarter. Ball comes over to Churchill. He drives into the lane. His shot was slapped by Cork out of bounds. It'll go back to Lindale. And Connery Churchill will throw the ball in for the Eagles. And he gets it in, and around it goes to Edwards. Back to Churchill, guarded by Kahn. And Edwards guarded by Rowland. In the hands of Koshal. Work it around to Churchill. He drives inside the arc, steams toward the basket, gets it over to Brown. Here's a three by Lindale, off, no good. Good rebound, strong by Cork. Cork looks really ready to go tonight against the big 7'1" fella. Ball in the hands of Rowland. Rowland will pass off to Cameron Kahn inside Cork. Back out to Kahn, right side it goes, Grayson McClure. McClure drives toward the basket, put up the shot, missed it, no good, and a good rebound by Lindale by Koshal. Ball ends up in the hands of Tygan Edwards. Edwards over to the big 7'1" guy with another three. Collinsworth has 2 threes, and the 7'1" center has 8 points. He's a nice-looking player. He's not only tall, but the man has skill. Wildcats leading 23-15. 5:50 left here in the second quarter. Into Cork. Cork is drawing an extra man all of a sudden as Lindale is trying to cut him off. Back out to Rowland. Rowland gets it over to Cork. He'll shoot the three out there. Good by Xavier Cork. He's got 13 points. The Wildcats leading 26-15. 5:29 left in the second quarter. Ball over to Colton Brown. Oh, he threw it to Clark Cipolletta. He was open. No, a player was there, and then the player moved, and Brown sailed it over there. He probably threw it and said, "Oh no, where'd that player go?" He had a teammate over there, but the player moved, and then Brown made a move and sailed the pass over there. Turnover on Lindale. Wildcats by 11 at 26-15 with 5:18 left here in the second quarter. And Lamadrick Johnson's in the ball game. Johnson has the ball. Back in the corner, McClure a shot, and that one's off, no good. Big rebound there by Collinsworth. And he hands off to Edwards. Tygan Edwards across the midline for the Lindale Eagles. Looks at the Colton Brown and over to Connery Churchill. And big 7-footer again. Collinsworth thought about the three, but passed off. Brown to Edwards with a three. It's off, no good. Good rebound, Cameron Kahn. Wildcats up by 11, 26-15 with 4:41 left here in the second quarter. Grayson McClure, right side it goes. Rowland to Johnson and over to McClure. Cross court to Lamadrick Johnson on the right corner. Rowland and around to Grayson McClure. And he back to Johnson now at the top of the key. Right side Rowland. Rowland penetrates in, driving in. His shot is blocked by by Collinsworth. Fast break, Lindale, and Edwards hits it. He's got 3 points. And Lindale down by 9 now at 26-17. 4:04 left here in the second quarter. Jeremiah Rowland across the midline for the Wildcats. And he's getting some information from Clark Cipolletta. Over to Lamadrick Johnson. Johnson back to Cork. Cork will shoot a 12-footer. It's off, no good. And the rebound to Churchill. He gives it to Edwards. Here come the Eagles. Long pass in the corner. Here's a three by Lindale. In and out, no good. Good rebound, Jeremiah Rowland. That shot was taken by Koshal. And Jeremiah Rowland across the midline for the Wildcats, leading 26-17. 3:30 left here in the second quarter. Rowland goes around to a Kahn screen, gives it over to Johnson outside the arc on the left side. Johnson went the other way from the screen, gives it to a Cork and over to Rowland. Rowland around there, passing the ball around the arc. Ball over to Lamadrick Johnson, tears toward the basket, a driving layup, beautiful by Lamadrick Johnson. Boy, what quickness. Wildcats leading 28-17, 3:02 left here in the second quarter. Colton Brown with the ball. Gets it over to Tygan Edwards. Edwards to the free throw line. Now backing out as Rowland comes right back after him. Rowland, no giving up there. And now the ball underneath the basket, and the Wildcats get a steal. Rowland down the court. Rowland, he got it over to Johnson and over to McClure, to Cameron Kahn. Cork has it. And Cork will hand over to Rowland. Wildcats slowing things down a little bit. Cameron Kahn outside the arc, over to Lamadrick Johnson. Back to Cameron. He backs in. Got the big center up in the air, and then he hammered Cameron Kahn. Oh, my. That center said, well, you may have got me up in the air, but you're not going to get the layup. And that's the second foul now on Collinsworth, who has 8 big points with 2 threes here, and showed a really, really good range for the 7'1" fella. Cameron Kahn, first free throws. He hit a 3 a while ago. He's got 3 points. And Kahn from the free throw line. Good by Cameron Kahn, 4 points. A couple of new Lindale players. Back is Holton Knox. And I think this is also Jamond Jackson. They'll take out Brown, and I think Churchill also hit the bench. Another free throw coming for Cameron Kahn. And he scored the 30th Wildcat point, and he does. Wildcats 30 and Lindale 17 with 2:24 left here in the second quarter. Wildcats by 13. And Edwards across the midline gets the ball to Johnson for Lindale. And he works it over to Josh Wilson, who's now in the ball game. And here's Edwards. Edwards driving to the baseline. Gets it over to Koshal. Back outside. And Collinsworth driving in against Cork. Puts up the shot. Tried to bank and missed it, but a good rebound. Johnson is awfully good on the offensive boards. The driving layup is good. And that'll be by Jacob Koshal. His first basket. And that'll make it a 30-19 ball game with 1:40 left here in the second quarter. Wildcats by 11. Jeremiah Rowland goes around the Cork screen and gives it over to Kahn. Down low to Cork. Cork spins, puts up the shot and hit it off the glass. Beautiful move by Xavier Cork. I don't know that I've ever seen him look this good on offense early in the ball game. He has really looked good. Has 15 points. Edwards gives the ball to Koshal and around to Johnson. They've got that big offensive rebounder way out there outside the three-point land. And now Edwards on the dribble, being guarded close by Rowland. Koshal thought about the jumper, stops, gives it to Johnson, and he drives in and laid it up. A little bit of lapse on the Wildcat defense. Or excuse me, that's Jackson and not Johnson. That's Jamond Jackson. He has 6 points for Lindale. Lindale down by 11, 32-21. The Wildcats have 42 seconds left here in the second quarter. Jeremiah Rowland with the ball, dribbling outside, and nobody attacking him, so he can dribble all day out there. Once he is engaged, he'll have to get rid of that ball in 5 seconds. But right now, Lindale letting him alone. Now here comes Edwards. Now he'll have to start moving with the ball. And Jeremiah Rowland on the dribble. And now Edwards drops off. Rowland on the dribble. Outside, 13 seconds over to Boo Wilkerson. Wildcats have to do something here inside of 10 seconds. Into Lamadrick Johnson outside. Jeremiah Rowland, 5 seconds. Cork will stop and pop, and it's off, no good. Kahn, the follow shot, another follow by Lamadrick Johnson, but it missed at the buzzer, and the Wildcats lead at the end of the first half, 32-21. 9 Lindale points in the second quarter, while the Wildcats were scoring 15. So it's halftime, 32-21. The Wildcats leading the Lindale Eagles. We look out on the court and see Keaston Willis on a knee scooter. As keeping, he's got a boot on that right foot also for the fractured ankle that he has. A very small, tiny fracture, we understand, but nevertheless, it is a fracture. And so he is trying to get that healthy and hoping to be back by playoff time. And hopefully we'll have Day Hall for the next ball game for the Wildcats, as they'll be in Greenville on Tuesday night. Here comes Lindale now as we start the third quarter, and Edwards on the dribble for the Eagles as they're down 32-21. They get it into Collinsworth, and he gets it to Koshal. Koshal goes around the Collinsworth screen, drives in, put up the shot, charging, and guess who drew the charge? If you guessed Cameron Kahn, you were a smart person, because you know he's often on the other end of those offensive fouls. Good play, foul against Jacob Koshal. He's got the knack, Cameron Kahn. And he doesn't mind taking those and hitting that hardwood floor. Here come the Wildcats up 32-21 with 7:35 left here in the third quarter. Down to Xavier Cork. Cork gets it out to Jeremiah Rowland, over to Boo Wilkerson, down low to Cameron Kahn. He's swarmed by defenders. Passed around to Rowland. Rowland along the baseline, and they say he is going to be fouled as he started his drive. And that foul is on Koshal. That's his second. And now Grayson McClure throws in. Cameron Kahn. McClure in the corner, back to Kahn, top of the key. Left side it goes, Jeremiah Rowland. Xavier Cork down low to Kahn. He storms to the basket. He hit the bucket, and he drew the third foul on Cody Collinsworth. Please forgive me if I call him Chris Collinsworth. But I haven't done that so far, but I probably will. Nice play by Cameron Kahn. And he also got the bucket, and it'll be an and one for Kahn. That's 7 points. And the third foul on Collinsworth. Head coach for Lindale there, Chris Grotemat, not real happy with that call. Here's a free throw by Cameron Kahn. He got the free throw. He has 8 points. And the Wildcats lead 35-21 with 7:06 left here in the third quarter. Here's Edwards. Right side it goes. And down to Churchill and back outside to Koshal. And he gives to Edwards. Edwards outside the arc. over in the corner to Churchill, who thought about the three. Gives it to Edwards. Now to Jackson and back to Edwards. Outside the arc. Edwards starts a drive, funnels it into Jackson. He put up the shot and missed it, but got his own rebound. His follow shot is good. That Jackson, a very talented player, kind of one of those inside players that'll give you a lot of trouble. He likes the offensive rebounds, kind of a little bit like Day-Day Hall. Here's a ball over to Wilkerson, who shoots the three. That's off, no good, and the rebound to Jackson. Here comes Lindale, down 35-23. 6:17 left, third quarter. Lindale three is off, no good. Cork skies to get the rebound. He jumped. He was not closest to the ball, but he's so tall he can go up and get it with players between him and the ball. Jeremiah Rowland over to Cameron Kahn. And Kahn, he threw the ball, and Grayson McClure took off. Here's a steal by Edwards, and blocked by Cameron Kahn. Lindale gets the ball. Here's a short jumper, no good. Cork had it, and it was knocked out of his hands. But they're going to rule that Cork had it last. So it'll go back to the Lindale Eagles. Wildcats leading 35-23 with 5:47 left here in the third quarter. Ball comes into Edwards and around to Koshal. Gives it to Churchill. Churchill heads toward the bucket, puts up the shot, came up short. Cork the rebound. And he'll dribble and give it over to Jeremiah Rowland, who lets the crowd go by. And he goes across the midline. Ball to Cork, top of the key. Right side it goes. Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson over to Jeremiah Rowland, the long three. Off, no good. Good rebound, Grayson McClure. McClure, the follow shot. Oh, he hit it! A beautiful move by Grayson McClure. He's got 10 points. Wildcats leading 37-23. Lindale back in a hurry, and they got Rowland for a reach as Churchill drove in. That'll be the first foul I show on Jeremiah Rowland. First foul for the Wildcats in the third quarter as Colton Brown checks in for, that would be Connery Churchill. Non-shooting foul for Lindale. Wildcats 37, Lindale 23 with 5:09 left here in the third quarter. Brown triggers in to Jackson and back to Brown and over to Edwards. Edwards to Koshal and gives to Jackson. Koshal will shoot the three. Off, no good. Good rebound. Boo Wilkerson gives it to Jeremiah Rowland, and he started to run, and Clark Cipolletta must have told him to slow down the pace a little bit. So Jeremiah Rowland dribbling outside. Again, they're not coming out after him. Now he'll give it to Grayson McClure on the left side. He's still well outside. And sends it over to Cameron Kahn. He'll shoot the three, but it was blocked by Collinsworth. The ball down on the floor, picked up by the Wildcat. And Wilkerson got it into Cork, who jammed it home with a stuff. The Wildcats lead 39-23. Timeout taken by Lindale. 4:23 left in the third quarter. Wildcats 39, Lindale 23. We'll take the break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. Well, we're here in the main gym on the campus of Sulphur Springs High School, and the Wildcats leading Lindale by the score of 39-23. A lot of Lindale influence. Of course, head football coach, athletic director, Greg Owens, former head football coach at Lindale and athletic director. And we have another one of those, and Mike Metter, who followed Greg as the head coach. And Coach Metter now one of our assistants. We're very glad to have him. He adds a lot to the Wildcats. And also Coach Tyson. He was a coordinator at Lindale. Now the ball into Churchill. His short shot is up and off, but a good rebound by Koshal. His follow shot left short. Koshal tried to get another rebound. He did, and he saved it out to Brown. Jackson has it over in the corner. Edwards now for Lindale. Koshal gets it inside to Collinsworth. Now he's double teamed. Storms toward the basket. His shot blocked. And Cameron Kahn long down to Jeremiah Rowland ahead of the field. His layup is good. Beautiful pass by Kahn and good finish by Rowland. And now Lindale loses the ball, but the Wildcats throw it right back to him. So each team turns the ball over, and Lindale ends up with it ahead 41-23. 3:39 left here in the third quarter. Here's a Lindale three. Edwards hit it. That's his first three. That may be Lindale. No, Lindale has The big 7'1" guy has a couple of threes. That's their third in the ball game. Lindale trims the lead to 41-26. 3:22 left in the third quarter. Boo Wilkerson outside the arc gives it to Cameron Kahn. Kahn on the dribble to Grayson McClure. Cork at the free throw line. And over to Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland the three. In and out, no good. Rebound to Jackson. And gives it to Edwards for Lindale. Wildcats by 15, 41-26. Less than 3 to play here in the third quarter. Ball down to Collinsworth. They take the ball out of his hands. Over to Jackson and Edwards. Edwards driving. But pass, here's Brown, a three. That is off, no good, but a rebound. That man, Jackson, his follow shot, no good, but he drew a foul, I think, on Cameron Kahn. Or was it Xavier Cork? Let's see. No, there looked like 4 fingers there, so that is the second foul on Cameron Kahn. There have not been a whole lot of fouls in this ball game. And so the game's had a little bit of grace. Boy, 58 fouls in the Lady Cats game the other night against Royce City. My goodness. Here's Jackson. His free throw is off. No good. That's Jackson's first free throw. He's got 8 points in the game, and Kai Taylor checks in for Cameron Kahn, who has those 2 fouls. And so Jamin Jackson will have another free throw for Lindale. Bouncing that ball, eyes the bucket, and the left-handed free throw in and out, no good. Good rebound, Cork. And Cork gets it over to Rowland. Wildcats leading 41-26 with 2:36 left here in the third quarter. Jeremiah Rowland across the midline for the Wildcats. Cork, top of the key. Left side it goes. Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson passing to Rowland on the right side outside the arc. Thought about the three. Now drives in over to Cork and to Kai Taylor. And to Cork. Cork will give it over to Rowland. Rowland into the lane. Back to Cork. Cork slams toward the basket. His shot missed, and rebound to Lindale. Here they come. Long pass to Koshal in transition. He hit the shot. And everybody hitting the deck there. No foul called, and Koshal has 4 points. And the Wildcats lead is 13 now at 41-28. And 1:55 left here in the third quarter. Rowland to Cork. Cork gets it over to Boo Wilkerson. Wilkerson driving toward the basket. And a foul down on the floor, and that's on Koshal. That may be 3 on him. And 3 fouls on Koshal. Jeremiah Rowland now to throw the ball in. And triggers it into Cameron Kahn over to Kai Taylor. Taylor to Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland on the dribble. Goes around the screen, gives it to Kahn. Back to Kai Taylor. Taylor storming to the basket. His shot was blocked by Collinsworth, but somebody got him. It was not Collinsworth. It was another player. I think that's going to be Knox. Holton Knox on the foul. And Kai Taylor shooting free throws with a chance to get into the scoring column. Come on, Kai. 6'5" junior. Kai Taylor, missed this one. We'll have another one coming. Wildcats by 13, 1:30 left here in the third quarter. Taylor eyes the bucket. Free throw on the way and off, no good. And here comes Lindale now, trailing by 13, 41-28 with 1:24 left here in the third quarter, and Lindale will take a timeout. And so 1:23 actually left in the third quarter now. Wildcats 41 and Lindale 28. We'll take the break with them, and we'll be back before you know it, right after this. And the Wildcats break out of the huddle, and Lindale is being honked out of the huddle over there. Some final comments by Coach Chris Grotemat. Seems like a very, very nice fella. He and Clark Cipolletta shared a lot of information with each other, talking before the game. It's fascinating to hear those coaches talk and things that they may bring up. Lindale with the ball. And it's Churchill to Edwards. Tried to pass it inside. Jeremiah Rowland got the tip and the steal. Jeremiah across the midline. 1:10 to go in the third quarter. Wildcats leading 41-28 and rolling again. Kind of slowing down the pace here as Clark Cipolletta trying to shorten the game a little bit. Brown goes out on Rowland. He goes around a Taylor screen, gets it over to Cameron Kahn. Kahn storms toward the basket, and he's called for an offensive foul as he kind of looked like a wedge buster in football, and the officials call Kahn for the charge. That's his third. He was just trying, I'm sure, to draw contact, but the official said he initiated it all, and the defensive players were doing their job. Third foul on Kahn. He comes out, and Xavier Cork checks in. Cork has had a nice game with 17 points. Kahn checks out with 8. Wildcats leading 41-28, 52.7 seconds still remaining. You know, the Wildcats obviously have concentrated on Collinsworth. He has not scored here in the third quarter. That may be a jinx. I shouldn't have said anything. Look at that Andy Chester, will you? He's doing security tonight. The police chief over in the town of Winsboro. And, of course, he has now yielded the broom to Clark Cipolletta. You can tell he was raised around basketball courts. Clark continuing to work, getting some good advice there from Lindale's Tegan Edwards. I mean, Tegan will tell Coach, hey, you missed a spot over here, Coach. Now, the Clark Cipolletta, I think, enjoying talking to those players there. There's another guy over there, Colton Brown. Brown and Edwards probably giving Cipolletta all the advice he would need there. Probably that official, too. Clark gets a hand for doing that. And here comes Lindale now. 50 seconds left here in the third quarter. Wildcats by 13, 41-28. Tegan Edwards with the ball. He bounced it toward Jones. It was kicked by Rowland. That'll be back to Lindale on the kicked ball. Sometimes you see that ball and you just throw something out there and it might be a foot. Back to Lindale. They trigger into Edwards. 42 seconds left to play in this third quarter. Brown outside. Gives it to Knox and over to Churchill. Knox tried to get it inside, knocked loose, and Kai Taylor picks it up. Good defense by the interior of the Wildcats. Over to Lamadrick Johnson. He's across the midline. Just 22 seconds left here in the third quarter. Wildcats leading 41-28. Johnson against Knox. Hang the Ford after him. Here's Lamadrick Johnson. He's being guarded closely. Gets it to Boo Wilkerson. 6 seconds. Wilkerson down to Kai Taylor. Heads toward the basket. The ball stolen from him. And Lindale with a long shot, and that'll end up well short. And the Wildcats lead after three quarters by the score of 41-28, and neither team scored too much. The Wildcats had a 9-point quarter, and Lindale scored 7. And that's the second straight quarter that Lindale has scored in single digits after they scored 12 in the first quarter. Well, we played 3, the Wildcats leading 41-28. Let's take a break here, and we'll be back in a moment for the fourth quarter. 41-28 as we head into the fourth quarter. And just now adding my points up here as I kind of slept through that quarter, but I think I did all right. 14-16 and 12-28. Yes, everything adds up. Wildcats leading 41-28, and we start the fourth quarter as Boo Wilkerson bounces the ball into Jeremiah Rowland. And Xavier Cork has the ball. Boy, some contact in the lane. They tried to get it to Cameron Kahn. He's got players all around him. The ball on the floor. Lindale picks it up, and they get it to Edwards, and he comes down the court. There's a player driving in against Cork. Contact, and they'll get, I believe, Xavier Cork for a block. First foul that I show on X-Man, and that'll send Connery Churchill. You know, X has the height, but Churchill being a guard, and he's 6'3" anyway, so he's not a small guard. But here's Churchill from the free throw line, and he got it. That's his third point of the ball game. Trims the Wildcat lead down to 12 here. Don't want a nail biter tonight. It'd be nice if we had a little bit of a lead, but the lead just shrunk some more on those 2 free throws. 11-point Wildcat lead at 41-30 with 7:39 left here in the fourth quarter. And Jeremiah rolling across the midline. And top of the key, Xavier Cork lobs for Cameron Kahn. Kahn turns, shoots. Oh, missed the shot, but drew the foul and got 2 shots. And I believe that was on Koshal. That may be 4 on him, if that's correct. Cameron Kahn with free throws. He is 3 out of 3. Free throw on the way. Good swish. Kahn with 9 points. He eyes that bucket, studies it. Spins that ball in his hand, and up goes the free throw. Ooh, this one's off, no good, but Kahn followed his shot. It's down on the floor with a jump ball, possession arrow to Lindale. The Wildcats lead is 12 now at 42-30. 7:25 left here in the fourth quarter. Back to the Lindale Eagles. And they're across the midline with Tegan Edwards. And he gets it to Koshal. Koshal, top of the key, directing traffic. Now gets it over to Colton Brown. They lob for Collinsworth. He is double team, spins toward the basket, missed, and Cork played good defense on him and then got the rebound. Made him have to hit a tough shot, and he just missed it. And Cork did a good job of defense and the rebound. Jeremiah rolling with the ball. Wildcats by 12. Here's a 3. Grayson McClure. It's off, no good, and the rebound to Brown of Lindale. Ball in the hands of Churchill, and he gives it to Edwards. Edwards outside the arc to Koshal, guarded by Grayson McClure. And here's Colton Brown to Koshal. They play catch out there. And Koshal has it again, and Brown has it again. They tried to get it low, but Boo Wilkerson got a hand on it, but he was the last one to touch it. Coach Chapman used to say when he was here, deflections lead to steals, which lead to baskets. And mostly the deflections lead to steals, so if you can get a hand on there, something good will likely happen. Here's a long pass back out to Edwards, guarded by Jeremiah Rowland quite tightly out there. And Edwards will get it over to Koshal. And over to Colton Brown. Down low again to Collinsworth. He passes to Koshal, over to Edwards, and in the corner, Churchill started a drive, and they say he started the drive before the dribble, and he got called for the not charging, but a traveling violation. I knew exactly what I meant. Something my mother used to say. It is true, of course, but sometimes you know what you want to say and the wrong word comes tumbling out. Wildcats by 12, 42-30. 6:04 left here in the fourth quarter. Xavier Cork with the ball. Down low, Cameron Kahn made a good catch, made the bucket, and got fouled. That was a beautiful pass by Xavier Cork. And the big thing is the catch on that. You've got to make a good catch, and Kahn did that, and that was the hard part. Then he just put it in the bucket and got fouled. So, and 1 for Cameron Kahn, who has 11 points. And he'll be shooting a free throw. And again, he studies that basket. Said, yep, 10 feet. Here's the free throw is good by Cameron Kahn. He's got 12 points. And timeout taken on the court. 5:56 left in the fourth quarter. Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 45 and the Lindale Eagles 30. We'll take the break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. And the break is over. The Wildcats breaking out. Lindale with a few final thoughts from their coach, Chris Grotemat. A very pleasant coach. It was nice to meet him. You can tell he's a gentleman. He's coaching until he kind of gets red in the face over there, so he's exerting himself. He's trying to urge these Lindale Eagles on. 45-30 with 5:54 left here in the fourth quarter. And a good year for Lindale, 20-6. And here's Koshal, and he hit a 3. Koshal has 7 points. That's his first 3. And that trims the Wildcat lead back down to 12 at 45-33. With 5:35 left here in the fourth quarter. Jeremiah Rowland across the midline. Dribbling outside, and Churchill is nearby. Wildcats pass around the arc to Boo Wilkerson. gives it to Cork. And back way outside to Jeremiah Rowland. Kind of looks like a little bit of air coming out of the ball. Over to Cork and to Kahn. And Kahn gives to Boo Wilkerson. Xavier Cork and over to Jeremiah Rowland. The Wildcats taking a little bit of time off the clock here. Oh, Cork almost started moving and adjusted just in time to catch the ball as he started to move. Cameron Kahn has the ball outside. 4:55 left here in the fourth quarter. Boo Wilkerson to Jeremiah Rowland. Kind of a lazy pass stolen by Lindale, and they dunk the ball with Churchill, who has 6 points, and we're down to a 10-point game here as the Wildcats have kind of slowed things down and kind of got a little bit flat on offense. Jeremiah Rowland steams to the bucket over to Boo Wilkerson, outside to Cameron Kahn. 4:28 left here in the fourth quarter. Kahn heads to the bucket and tried to dunk the ball, and he was, I believe, fouled by Jackson. And let's see if that was the call. 2 shots. And yes, a foul on Jamond Jackson. I show that just to be his first foul. Again, not a whole lot of fouls in this ball game, although Lindale has now picked up 8 here in the second half. The Wildcats 4. And again, trying to handle that moisture after players hit the floor as that contact between Cameron Kahn and the foul on Jackson. So Kahn, again, back at the free throw line. He's 5 out of 6 that I show. Maybe studying that basket is something to consider, you free throw shooters out there. And this one is good by Cameron Kahn. He's got 13 points. A good solid game for Cameron with another free throw coming here. Trying to get the Wildcats back up to that 12-point lead. And Cameron's free throw is good. Rattle a little bit, but went in. 14 points for Cameron Kahn. The Wildcats leading 47-35 with 4:18 left here in the fourth quarter. Churchill gives the ball to Collinsworth. Over in the corner, Jackson. Boy, they really are daring him to shoot a 3, and this player will. That's off, no good. Good rebound there by Cork. And he gives it to Jeremiah Rowland. 4 minutes left in the ball game. The Wildcats up 47-35. Lindale beginning to apply a little bit more pressure as the Wildcats cross the midline. They give it to Kahn and back out to Rowland and back to Cameron Kahn, and he is just not, he's looking to pass out instead of in. And it's kind of a 3-man game going on out there over to Grayson McClure and back to Jeremiah Rowland to Cameron Kahn. So they play a triangle there. And Kahn, again, every pass going out toward midcourt. And now the ball to Kahn, over to Jeremiah Rowland. 3:20 left here in the fourth quarter. Kahn outside to Grayson McClure as the Wildcats take some air out here. Pass to Cameron Kahn. 3:07 left. Over to Jeremiah Rowland. Wildcats by 12 over in the corner. Boo Wilkerson to Cameron Kahn. And there they fouled him. Churchill reached in and grabbed him. I show that to be the very first foul on Churchill. Connery Churchill. As Brown checks in to replace Jackson. Probably a better three-point shooter, I would think. They were challenging Jackson to shoot it a while ago, and he did not take the bait. Back to the free throw line again for Cameron Kahn. This free throw is good. Done a good job at the line. His last 4 points. He's got 15 in the game and 7 in the quarter. Had only 8 after 3 quarters. He's up to 15 now. Wildcats by 13. Kahn free throw on the way, in and out, no good, and rebound to Collinsworth. Here comes Lindale down by 13, 48-35 with 2:53 left in the ball game. Here's Edwards, a 3, off, no good. Cork had it pried loose by Brown, and he throws it back in, but right to Cameron Kahn, and then Kahn blasted it off of Edwards. And we'll have a timeout here. 2:42 left here in the fourth quarter. And the Wildcats leading Lindale by the score of 48-35. Let's take a break here, and we'll be back in a moment. Well, we appreciate Wildcats football coach and athletic director Greg Owens for enhancing our Lindale list. Not only Greg Owens, Mike Metter, Derek Tyson, Casey Jeter. How could I forget the Jeter? He went to the state powerlifting meet as a Lindale Eagle. And also Mike Lamb, teacher administrator. I think Mike, did he play for Owens? He may have. I'm not sure. Anyway, Mike Lamb, let's don't forget him. Wildcats now being pressed in the backcourt. They get it across the midline, almost stolen from Cameron Kahn, but he got it back, goes back to Rowland. Throws it over to Xavier Cork, but he did not go toward the basket. Back out to McClure, to Kahn. Down low to Boo Wilkerson, and he'll put it up and hit it. Boy, they kept leaving the back door open, and Wilkerson said, I'll take that. And the Wildcats leading 50-35 with 2:12 left here in the fourth quarter. Rowland pried it loose, but they'll say he fouled to do it. Second foul on Jeremiah Rowland. That's only the fourth for the Wildcats here in the last two quarters. So a non-shooting foul for Lindale. And Lindale's going to take a timeout here. 2:10 left here in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats leading Lindale's Eagles 50-35. Let's take a break here, and we'll be back in a moment. Wildcats 50 and Lindale 35. As we play here in the fourth quarter with just over 2 minutes. I think 2:10 was what yes, that is correct. As during the break, they tell you how many seconds in the break, and they take the clock away, but now it's come back. And Lindale with the ball here, trailing 50-35 with 2:10 left here in the fourth quarter. The ball in the hands of Edwards. Edwards on the drive. He drives toward the bucket, but sends it in the corner for a three, and it's good by Brown. As that was Colton Brown, his first basket in the ball game, and it's a 12-point ball game at 50-38. Under 2 minutes to play now at 1:50. Grayson McClure bounces toward Kahn. It was pried loose, but they'll say they fouled to do it. And that foul is on Churchill. Will be his second. I don't want to say anything about his finest hour or anything like that. Must be a British fan. Is he a combination of Sean Connery and Churchill Winston? Got those names. Here's a free throw, good by Cameron Kahn, and he is feasted on the free throw line here. He's got 16 points, 8. He's doubled his game total here in the fourth quarter with 8 points. The next free throw, good again. Now has 17. 52-38, Wildcats by 14 with 1:44 left here in the fourth quarter. Edwards drives toward the basket, put it into the corner, back to Edwards. 1:37 left. Edwards around the screen, drives toward the basket. He made the basket. He scooped it up into the basket and drew the foul on Jeremiah Rowland. I don't know who that surprised more, Rowland or the player that shot it. Edwards. But he scooped it up and it went in. And he'll get a free throw chance for 3 the old-fashioned way. Wildcats by 12 now, 52-40 with 1:32 left here in the fourth quarter. Free throw for Tegan Edwards. And the free throw is good. He's got 9 in the game. Wildcats by 11 now, 52-41 with 1:32 left in the fourth quarter. Try for a steal by Lindale, but they knocked it out of bounds. I think they were hoping that they could knock it off of Jeremiah Rowland, but they did not do that. So Boo Wilkerson will trigger it in again for the Wildcats. Boo slaps the ball and looking for some help here. Gets it into Rowland. Rowland tightly guarded. And Jeremiah Rowland in the backcourt. Now working against Edwards. Edwards went big time for the steal, and he got into Jeremiah's body to do that, so he'll pick up a foul. That is the very first foul I show on Tegan Edwards, a 6-foot senior. I'm sure he's a team leader for that as a point guard. Rowland with some big free throws here. First trip to the line and got the first one. Rowland with 5. And here comes Koshal and also Collinsworth. And Collinsworth has scored no points in the second half after having 8 at the half. Wildcats took him away. I'm sure he was a film study at halftime. Second free throw by Rowland misses. The Wildcats up by 12, 53-41. Churchill driving. He hit the bucket. It'll be they waved it off. They said the foul was down on the floor before the bucket. Lindale coach Grodemat is trying to lobby for that basket, but they say the foul occurred before the basket, so a non-shooting foul for Lindale. Oh, it's 1+1 because of the seventh foul. The Wildcats are in the double bonus. Lindale has had 10 fouls. But foul shots now for Connery Churchill, who has 6 points in the game, missed this foul shot. And the Wildcats have it over in the corner. And Cameron Kahn steaming down court and got another foul on Tegan Edwards. That's his second. It'll be 2 shots, all fouls, 2 shots for the Wildcats are in the double bonus. And Cameron Kahn, would you believe it, is going to get some more. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be his 10th free throw. And he's made 8 out of 10 here in the quarter. And has a 10-point quarter. Cameron eyes the bucket. We'll get a couple here. This one on the way. Good. Very good form on that. And Cameron Kahn has had a great night shooting free throws. He has shot a ton of them, and he's only missed 2 on the evening. Must have had 14 or 15 free throws and only missed 2. This one on the way. Good again. Made the last 4. Wildcats leading 55-41. 1:15 left here in the fourth quarter. Lindale Eagles over to Brown and over to Edwards. Edwards will shoot the 3. That comes up and misses. Goes out of bounds. And it'll go back to the Wildcats. Lindale sends in Knox and Jackson. These are kind of some lunch pail kind of guys. They do some of the hard work in there. I'm very impressed with Jackson. He's kind of earns his points. Ball comes into Cameron Kahn, and he was fouled immediately by Colton Brown. Now I think Brown kind of gave a little tap to Kahn there as if to say nothing personal on that hard foul there, but just trying to get the officials' attention. And it wasn't all that hard. It was an obvious foul, and that's what you're trying to do. You want that foul called. But Kahn back to the free throw line of all the people. Cameron's free throw, good. That's 5 in a row for Cameron. And Collinsworth checks back in. They're kind of, seems like they're subbing him offense and defense. And Kahn's next free throw, good again. So 6 in a row for Cameron Kahn. Wildcats leading 57-41, a 16-point lead. 1 minute left here in the fourth quarter. Koshal over to Brown and down to Collinsworth. He'll turn and shoot. Off, no good, but a good hustling rebound by Lindale. They missed the shot. Kahn got the rebound, of course, and he got fouled. So they'll send Cameron back to the line. I'm going to count these free throws in the ball game for Cameron Kahn. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me do it over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 and 17 are coming up. Now that's getting to the foul line. And like I say, he has missed 2 tonight. So 15 out of 17 with 2 pending here. Wildcats with a 16-point lead with 51.4 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And Kahn bouncing that basketball. Eyes the bucket. Free throw on the way. Good. Nothing but net. Well, he had a little practice. Got another one coming. Again, Kahn studies that rim. You got a method. You want to stick to it for good foul shooting. He missed that one. Only his 3rd miss of the night out of 18 foul shots. 15 out of 18. Wildcats by 17. Here's a 3 by Churchill. It's off, no good. Big, long rebound chased down by Lindale. And they'll give it to Churchill again, and he sends it out to Koshal, who shoots the three. Came up short. I think Grayson McClure got a piece of that. That's what the Lindale coach is saying, but the officials are not going to see it that way. And they're going to give it to the Wildcats on just a missed shot there. Ball comes into Rowland. 30 seconds left in the ball game. The Wildcats up by 17, 58-41. No nail biter tonight, folks. It's kind of fun while it lasted, but all of us were getting too old too fast. Ball over to Grayson McClure. We don't want to have Clark Cipolletta at the end of the season with totally gray hair. Perish the thought. Over to Jeremiah Rowland now with just 5 seconds left. The crowd clapping this one out here. The Wildcats hanging on to the ball, and that's the end of the ball game as the Wildcats win this one by the score of 58-41. Lindale had a 13-point fourth quarter, and the Wildcats had 17 points. So for Lindale, they had 12, 9, 7, and 13 for a total of 41. And for the Wildcats, they had 17, 15, 9, and 17. So they started with 17 and they ended with 17. And a good solid win for the Wildcats to go 5-0 in district play and 19-8 for the season. And Lindale will slip to 20-7. They've had a 20-win season. They've done very, very well, but they lose this one and they go to 2-3 in district play. But they're still in there feisty and fighting for a chance to get either that get one of those playoff spots. Just depends. We've got a whole another second half to come. I mean, another half, as we're just now through with the first half, and the Wildcats will have kind of a weight on their back because they will be playing 4 out of 5 in the second half on the road, where the going gets tough. Now they've had one. They picked up one big win against Mount Pleasant. That's always a tough place to win, and they got that one under their belt. But they've still got to go to Texas High, Lindale, Royce City, and also to Greenville. And it'll start with Greenville. That'll be next Tuesday as the Wildcats begin the second half against the Greenville Lions. And the Greenville Lions lost to Texas High, I believe, last Tuesday by 4 points. They scared the heck out of Texas High before T High could get out of there with a win. So nothing has come easy in this district so far. At least we expect, hopefully, the Wildcats will be back with Day-Day Hall. We certainly hope so. Let's take a break here. We'll add up all the score and we'll tell you who scored what. As the Wildcats beat Lindale tonight in the Sulphur Springs High School gym on the score of 58-41. We'll take the break here and we'll be back in a moment. And let's tell you who scored what in this Wildcat victory, 58-41. And we'll start with the Lindale Eagles. And their top scorer tonight was their 6-foot senior point guard, Tegan Edwards, and he scored 9 in the ball game. Also, Jamond Jackson. I told you I was impressed with that guy. Kind of a lunch pail guy with a lot of offensive rebounds and stuff around the basket. Real tough customer, and he had 8 points tonight for the Eagles. The big fella, Cody Collinsworth, the biggest player in the district at 7'1", started out very strong in the first half with 2 threes and a 2. And then Coach Cipolletta decided they were going to take him out of the ball game. He did not score in the second half and ended up with those 8 points that he had at halftime. And let's see, also 7 points for Jacob Koshal and 6 points for Connery Churchill and 3 points for Colton Brown on a 3-point basket. Lindale made 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like Lindale hit 5 threes tonight. And for the Wildcats, they had 1, 2, 3. 3 for the Wildcats. Actually, no, 4. 2 by McClure, 1 by Cork, and 1 by Cameron Kahn. Cameron Kahn was the leading scorer thanks to some really, really good foul shooting. As Cameron only had 1, 2, 3 baskets. But he hit 15 free throws, 15 out of 18. Had 22 points for the Wildcats. Good ball game for Xavier Cork, as he had 15 first half points, ended up with 17, but played really, really good defense on a really big fella. And that would be Xavier Cork. 10 points for Grayson McClure. And good ball game for Grayson, just all the way around for him. Very good, solid ball game. 5 points for Jeremiah Rowland, who does a lot more than just 5 points with his defense and playing the point guard position. A lot of good moments for Jeremiah with 5 points. And then wrapping it up, 2 points for Boo Wilkerson and 2 points for Lamadrick Johnson. And I was very impressed with Lamadrick's 2 as he made a really super drive to the basket, just cat quick. And that just kind of flashed that potential that sophomore has. So the Wildcats win this one by the score of 58-41. Again, they go 5-0 in district, undefeated after the first half, and they will be going over to Greenville. Lady Cats at 6:15, Wildcats at 7:30, and that'll be next Tuesday as it continues over in Greenville with back-to-back over there. But you'll have to go over to Greenville to see that one, and I'm sure they'll have a packed gym there. Should be a lively night over there. The Lindale Eagles go to 20-7 on the season and 2-3 in district play after the first half. And James Terry was running spots, doing double duty, as all of our games this year have been the double header variety. And so James doing 2 games there in Master Control. Doug Haston doing the engineering to set everything up, both the streaming and the radio and the shooting video. And he'll put all that together for Channel 18 as soon as he can get that done. You might peek in after the coaches show. You might find a new ball game there, but we'll see. And I'm Don Julian with your play-by-play. Once again, the Wildcats win this one district game over Lindale by the score of 58-41. As always, we always are glad that you're along for the ride tonight. And thanks for joining us, and so long, everybody.
Thank you, Don. You've been listening to Wildcat Basketball on your official Wildcat and Lady Cat station, KSST 1230 AM, Sulphur Springs, Texas. Back to Good Time Oldies after these messages from our sponsors.